Greetings, fellow songwriters and seekers, and welcome back to Muse and Measure. Please take a moment, hit the subscribe button down below. All right, so I want to give you an exercise to get things flowing, right? When we're writing lyrics, oftentimes it's like you sit there and like scratch your head, you don't know what to write. Well, being poetic and expressing yourself through words in a poetic way that has real clarity and impact is not just something that comes naturally. It's definitely something that you have to hone and kind of build up the muscle for. Okay? And so the best way to do that is just to have a regular practice where you're just writing and writing whatever comes into your mind and getting into the flow and tapping into that subconscious aspect of your mental capacities to make it so that you can tap into them and have this access to our subconscious at all times when you want to use it, especially in your poetic writing. Because poetry is really tying your conscious everyday life and your day-to-day goings-on with your emotional state, but then also tying in the subconscious associations that you have with that, because our mind is working on all those different levels all at the same time. We are out there processing the world conceptually so that we can navigate it and do the things we need to do day to day, but we're also feeling things emotionally. And we're having these associations which are from past memories, or if you're a Jungian, some kind of human experience that extends across all times in the form of archetypes. But you want to be able to tap into that and to use that in your lyric writing. So there's this thing called morning pages. I know it by a different name, but in the book, The Artist Way by Julie Cameron, I'll put a link down below if you want to check it out. She advocates for a daily writing practice. It's a way of clearing mental clutter, overcoming creative blocks, and connecting with some kind of inner voice. So just getting in the practice of expressing yourself and expressing whatever's going on in your mind in a very quick way is really a very powerful tool to getting into the flow of that and making it so that your lyrics will just come out very, very quickly and kind of automatically in this poetic way. She advocates writing 3 pages a day. You write it out by hand. Do it first thing in the morning, so it could be something you habit stack with your morning coffee. You sit down at the table, you sit down and you just write, and you fill 3 pages. You just go nonstop. And you especially don't want your editor or your critic to be active during this. Whatever comes in your mind goes down on the page, and you do it as quickly as possible. You know, Jack Kerouac used to do this, but he could type 100 words a minute, so he could really get it all down. Most of us can't write that fast, especially by longhand. But as things flow down, whatever catches your attention, you write it down. And then you can read it later if you want, and oftentimes I've gotten great poetic lines from it. Yeah, I go through and I'll circle the lines that I like, or certain imageries or phrases that I like, and use them. But you also could just never read them again and just destroy them if you want, which is totally legitimate too. It's really just about getting into the flow of it. And I know this as stream of consciousness, and this was something the surrealists developed back in the 1920s, a way of getting out of the habitual conceptual framework of associating with the world in that way, or not associating, but necessarily relating to the world in that way that we are just so kind of attuned to do, and it kind of blocks out all these possibilities of poetic language. So they would just, sit down and write, what was called automatically. It was kind of like going into a trance for them. And this is how I've always learned it. But I found this to be a great tool, especially if it's like when I have sessions, where I'm writing lyrics and nothing's coming, I can't think of anything to write or say, or I can't think of how to say them. Well, I know that I'm out of the flow, and so I might do a 10-minute session of this morning pages in the afternoon or the evening, or any time of day. I call it automatic writing or stream of consciousness. You can call it whatever you want. Just try it out and see if it helps you get into this flow of writing lyrics, especially if this is a problem you're having. For some people, this isn't a problem. You just words flow out of you so easily, and you're able to express yourself in a way that's very clear and impactful. But for a lot of us, it's something that you have to kind of coax out and build up the muscle for. So give it a try. Let me know how it goes for you. Please put in the comments what happened, if you read it, if you found any good phrases or poetic lines that you could use later on, or if you were too afraid to look at it and were too ashamed of it and destroyed it. All right, well, best of luck with this lyric writing. Until next time,